So let me repeat some of the steps what we did last time. How many of you tried the creating your VPCs? Did you try like creating a VPC? Let's do a bit of understanding what we did last time and what are the problems you faced. And if that is the normal, who are all new here, what we do is we try to analyze what we did last time. And if somebody of you tried it, what is the problem you faced? And I can help you maybe in 10 minutes, first 10 minutes, I can help you to debug or help you achieve what we achieved last time. So please let me know if you who tried and who didn't try. If you didn't try, then I want to know why. Because obviously when I am spending time, I expect you to spend time too. So this is a...
I actually tried, so I'm little behind since I joined late. I'm little behind. So the VPC part I haven't tried yet. So I just created my EC2 instance, deployed the code. I had some issue on the CLI. So that
I don't see who is speaking.
Sorry,
who is speaking?
Sanjit.
Sanjit, okay.
So CLI pad I had some issue, and then I could not. I mean, I did not spend much time on looking at the issue because of some other office works and all. But I'm little behind. I am hoping to matching up to the speed sooner. But VPC side, whatever we did last to last session, I'm yet to try that.
Okay. Anybody else, please? Because I want to know, unless you try hands-on things, it's very difficult for me to make you understand. And unless we focus on basics, I know you are not from cloud background, but that's why that's the reason I emphasize that we should try our hands, and that's the only way to learn. In fact, just theoretically you cannot learn it. So I want to know who all tried, and if you not tried, I encourage you try, but that's a requirement from my side that who are all coming here, they should at least spend 1 hour in a week. Because for this session, I am spending at least 2 hours to come and prepare this session also. So daily, that means every week I'm spending almost 8 hours.
Nani or get Taco Bell?
Wow, okay.
That's what Mama said.
Okay, I love Taco Bell as well. So.
Hi, this is Vivek. I did it along with you in the last session. So I did the VPC part. So I have successfully done it.
Okay. Anybody else?
This is Central here, and I was able to do what, I just followed the steps that you did, and I was able to create the private host and was able to access it from the public one.
Okay.
Panchaleshwar, this is Raja. Yeah, I'm able to do as well, Panchaleshwar.
Okay. Then let's, did you understand then what is the difference between security group and network access layer, NACL?
I think what I know, I mean, I haven't tried. What I know, network SL generally it's like stateless, and your security group is stateful, right? So security group will generally allow, and there is no deny rule. But in NACL, you can have allow as well as deny.
Okay. Yeah. So anybody else want to give some answer? What is the difference between security group and NACL, NSCL? Which one is, okay, as I said last time, okay.
Yeah, security groups is on the instance level where we apply the security, and your NACL would be kind of
subnet level, right?
Subnet level.
Yeah, that's correct.
And which one is, there is another difference also?
Yeah, on NACL, I guess you cannot deny anything or subnet. Something was there
No,
where you are
security
able
group
to.
doesn't have deny.
Yeah,
And
so
NACL has
that,
both. Yeah,
yeah, NACL have both, and that was another
One-
difference which you mentioned.
One is stateful, another is stateless. Which one is
Yes.
stateful? Which one is stateless?
I think the security group they call stateful, and the NACL they say stateless. I can double check that.
Yes, that's right. So security group is stateful, whereas NACL is stateless. That means in security group, once you set allow a particular port, that is also allowed for the
Incoming, outgoing, right? Outgoing. Yeah.
And so it retains the state. Whereas
Right.
you have to have both to be set. Whether you want to allow that for incoming, like ingress, as well as outgress, like egress. So you have to specify both. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. And what is that we? What is the difference between private subnet and public subnet?
I think private subnet generally you will have this database and those kind of stuff, right? And the public subnet, then sometime your web layer you want to expose to outside, meaning you want to access from internet. In that case, you will put that in the public subnet.
So how to make it public? What defines
public? I guess it's connected to the router from where you or your.
Now, public, I think the internet gateway, right?
Internet gateway that is connected,
yeah,
and your private, it's not internet gateway, but you have to connect it through your public subnet.
I mean, you can have your NATed, NATed gateway or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you cannot access it directly from your public IP address. It has to be. It's not accessible openly through internet.
Yes.
Okay. And VPC, what is the maximum capacity of the VPC, or what is the maximum CIDR group?
I think 16. Generally, VPC
16,
can have 16. Yeah.
And the other one was 24.
Subnet, right?
Subnet.
Okay. And how many IP address, if you, this is just for the knowledge, actually it is required. The things what we are just discussing, it's actually required for everybody to understand. So when we have a subnet created, let's see that suppose I have a CIDR group /24, prefix is 24, okay? How many IP address we get in that subnet?
24, I think it's 256.
2 to the power 8.
So do we?
So 8, right? 2 to the power 8, yeah.
I am not talking about networking, I'm talking specifically on AWS. So if we create a subnet of /24 CIDR, how many IP addresses we get?
I think out of 256, maybe 2 or 3 being used for AWS itself, right? Maybe 253, I would say.
So I want specific.
19.
I want specific answers, not. I think
19.
I think it's a very. But I want specific answer, please, because exam question.
252.
Is that
252?
254?
253 or 252, maybe, yeah.
Why we don't get it? Why all not 256?
I think the 2 or 3 being used by AWS service itself, I mean, they will use for own purpose. Yeah.
So there are 5 addresses we don't get. Okay, we can just check it, and these are all quickly.
Exam question.
Okay. Yep. These are some of the exam questions I just. So when you go to VPC, we create a subnet. I have some subnets, right? So let's see how many subnets we get. Okay. So
251, it's saying available.
Okay. So out of 256, we get 251. Why? Because 5 addresses, we can actually do that. 5 addresses. There is a each subnet has a router address, like gateway address. One is the gateway, and I think one is for user use. Another is, so we can see AWS subnet. If there is a documentation, always we can find. Okay, AWS subnet. Okay. And here we can break the documentation. I wanted to help you out how we get. And you see this, I encourage everybody to go all these documentations. And here you see CIDR of VPC and restriction, and we can find all the details about subnets and working with VPCs, working with shared VPC, default VPC, IP addressing, and subnets, creating a VPC, and why we don't get it. I can give you maybe exact next time, but these are all the way I encourage you to study all these theories while we do, because I think it is necessary while we do here all the practice. It is important for you to just go and read all these things. Okay, so how to delete a subnet, how to dissociate, and all, and IP address details, maybe CIDR IP details. Address range, all right. Is it? So address range, no. VPC, delete you. No, okay. So I think, yeah, we can get the details from this, okay. We can search and find like how many, which address is used for what, okay. I possibly forgot how all the 5 one is for subnet gateway, another is for future use, and the last one is for, I think it's for the broadcasting or something. So like that, we only get 251. My intention was just to ask how many we can use. The answer is 251. Okay, 5 is reserved for 5 IP addresses are reserved for
so own purpose. Yep.
yeah, for AWS. Okay, you cannot use them. Okay, so let's go ahead and okay. What we do is now I will start working with a project in mind. Okay, instead of now we learn some basics, right? And what I'm going to do is today we'll have a small web server application. We'll take a small example of a WordPress, maybe WordPress. It's a good example of implementing on AWS WordPress application. So what is a WordPress is, WordPress application is having multiple layers of implementation. One is a web server, another is a database server. So we'll have 2 separate servers or instances. So where we'll install one web server, okay, HTTPD, and we'll install that on an instance which is public, and we'll install a database server on an instance which is private. Normally in a okay, Amazon has a architecture that is called they have best practices, and they have a architecture framework also. Okay, the reference architecture for
Yeah, I think they call it well architected framework, right? Something like that.
the web. So they call it well architected framework.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll follow some practices. Slowly, I will introduce those. I don't want to just introduce you what is the complete well architected framework, but slowly we'll go towards that. So what I'll do is, before going to create those complete applications, I want to introduce you different components. We have first class, I think we have seen how to implement a web server, first or second, right? HTTPD, and we created a simple HTML code, and we saw how it worked. So we have not seen how the database component works, right? And last time I have shown you in a VPC how to create a private subnet and how to create a public subnet. So we have two layers. We know now how to create those layers, right? So what we'll do today is creating a web server on public subnet and creating a database server in the private subnet. And will not allow private subnet to be communicated from outside world. So only web server can communicate to it. So database is safe, like last time we said. So, and we'll see that only web server can get the database contents from the database.
So we'll open the particular port also database, or how do you connect?
So we'll see that how to communicate and which port we have to open, which port we have to close, and how to, in fact, last time we saw also how we can access a server which is not public. I hope you could access it too, who did practice. So like logging into the public server, public instance, then from the public instance, logging into the private instance, right? So there is, we can always install a database server in an AWS instance, but that is a big thing. That's a very traditional way of doing it, because if we go an instance and we make it just want to install maybe open source code, we can install with yum install MySQL or something like that, right? But instead of that, AWS gives a ready-made solution for creating a database that is called RDS. Okay, Relational Database Service. This is, I have already given a shortcut, but if you go to services, okay, click services, and here in the database, we get something called RDS. You click it, okay, and here, this is RDS, and we can directly right away create a database server without creating separate instance, logging into the instance and deploying a database and creating it, and so forth, so on and so forth. We can do that, of course, but that's not. Then what we have to do is, so it is called managed service. Okay, so that means they already manage everything for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create any instance, or you don't have to create any server. Okay.
So Amazon will create its own EC2 and run the database when you create the site.
Yes, it will do everything for you. You just have to do click, 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 and select what you want, and it will do it for you. And all the high availability, scalability, everything, it will be taken care. Okay. So that's how that's why RDS is quite important. Relational. It is a service. Okay. It is not so. But okay. In the first session, we understood that is called the shared responsibility model, right? So this is where the shared responsibility, when we create your own instance, you take care of the OS, you take care of the packages, whatever you install, right? But here, RDS is in the shared responsibility model. They take care of everything. Amazon takes care of updating the packages, of installing the OS, installing the database server, and in fact, maintaining the database patch and everything. You don't do anything, and you are not allowed to log in also to the operating system of the database. It is not allowed, and you cannot, because it is not, they won't give what is the IP address or something. So you cannot log in, okay? Your job is to just create the database and access the endpoint, so that, and you get a admin user and password. That's all. So that means you can log into the database, you can create your databases, and whatever you want with that, you can do it. But you are not allowed to do anything with the operating system and packages. It is managed by them. Okay, so by the way, it is a good thing, but that because why to manage unnecessary stuffs when you need only a database, right? So let's see that first. How to create a relational database using Amazon RDS, and that is what we're going to learn today. Okay, so any doubt before we move forward?
No, Panchlesh.
Okay, great. So I am sure who are all having the laptop in front, please go to RDS and here create a database. But before going to do that, what we'll need is we'll need a set of subnets, okay? To be able to create this database, we need something called, if you hear, subnet group, okay? Subnet group. While creating this also we can create, but let's create a subnet group. That means this subnet group is nothing but a group of subnets where this database, whatever we are going to create, will be actually positioned. That means it will be created and take the IP address of those subnets. Okay. So for that, what I'll suggest you is, if you have not done, go to your VPC first and subnets and create a set of subnets. So what I have done is, if you see here, I have created a DB subnet A2A, that means in the 2A, 2B, and maybe another one I can do 2C. Create subnet DB subnet. And in my VPC, which I created last time, and in the availability zone, in all of the availability zone I have created. So 10.0.5.0/24. So I have created, you can create 2, 3, in fact, one also it should be fine, because I want just all the 3 subnets in the 3 availability zones. So I want that this should be used for the DB. That's why I've given DB subnet. Okay. So now,
Panchlesh, we can reuse the same VPC which we subnet which we created last.
yes, in the same VPC. Obviously, you have to use the same VPC. You cannot create a different VPC. VPC is the larger picture.
Right.
Inside the VPC you have to do. So you can obviously do that in the VPC what you created last time.
But we also created subnet, so we can use the same subnet also, right?
So I want them to be private. So if you have private subnets, you can use them. Or okay, I don't want it should be actually route table should be directly to the. Okay.
Can you please one more time go back to the VPC creation again quickly?
VPC creation, I will not repeat. Maybe later I can do it. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. It will waste others' time. So it is again another big thing. Just I cannot create because I have to delete all my subnets. I cannot just delete my VPC and recreate everything. It will whole session will go in that. I'm sorry, I cannot do that for sake of others. Okay. So because if I do that, all my subnets will be deleted. Because VPC is not one thing, it is the whole thing. Once you delete the VPC, whole thing, everything is deleted. Okay, so maybe please refer to my last session's video, how to create it. You can do that, or maybe if you are still not able to create, let me know. Okay, so 2A, 2B, 2C, these are the 2 subnets we created. Now go to the RDS, then here go to the subnet group. Okay, create a subnet group. I have already created. Let me delete it first. Okay, it will be like this in the subnet groups. So it will be blank for you. So create a DB subnet group. Name. You can name anything. So you can, and VPC, select the one which you created and add subnets. Now, the new ones which I just created, I'll just add those into this group. So all are added. And you see this is just availability zones I added. This is the availability zone, and this is the actual subnets. If you see, 2A, 2B, 2A, 2B, and 2C, this is the ones I just created. Okay. And how to, because you can see, cannot see the names, but you can, I know because it 3, 4, and 5 subnet group, you know, IP address CIDR I created. So from there I can just understand which are the subnets I created. You see the CIDR, this is 4, 5, and 3. So these are the subnets I created. So create. So this is what my subnet groups I created. After that, go to the databases. Now, create database, hit create database, and you can Aurora, MySQL. If you see, these are the databases RDS supports. Okay, so you can use any of these Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, Oracle, but for the free tier, because this is what you are going to use actually, the free tier. So it is a small database you can create. So what I suggest is, because MariaDB is the very open source, MySQL based open source, both all are same actually. They support the same set of tools. It is from Amazon. MySQL is the open source, and Maria is the actually MySQL is still now a part of Oracle. So when MySQL is acquired by Oracle acquired Sun. MySQL used to be part of Sun Microsystems. So there are some issues with the licensing. So the open source group actually create another database which is completely open source, and that's MariaDB. So it is actually derived from MySQL, by the way. So select maybe MariaDB, which is open source. So nothing should be problem regarding the licensing and all. Then click here called free tier. Okay. And you see here, I'll just go back, standard create, MariaDB, and free tier. Don't give anything else here. Dev test, it may take you to other things. So select free tier and give your name. So I give a BOC test. Credentials, you see this, remember this master username is admin by default selected, and create a password, whatever you can remember. Okay, both the passwords match, and you see by default when you create the free DB, a free tier, it's actually T2 micro. It's selected a T2 micro. That is a small 1 vCPU with 1 gig of RAM selected, and general purpose. Enable storing auto scaling, just disable this. Storage is 20 gig of storage. Connectivity, you see this is BOC VPC. This is the VPC which is you selected. You have to select which VPC you want. There will be, for you, there will be two options: the default VPC and also the VPC which you created. You can choose. Okay. Then additional connectivity, which subnet group? You see additional connectivity subnet group. Select the subnet group which you just created. and here publicly accessible. Whether you want your DB to be publicly accessible or not. The good practice is no, because you don't want your database to be publicly accessible. Okay, so it is no. VPC security group. Okay, so here you can choose your security VPC group. VPC security group. So I have created a database security group, which is actually I'm allowing my DB. I'm not able to select it. Okay. So this is a okay. You can select for the time for now. You can select anything. You can change it later actually. Okay, the security group. So you can by default you can select the default one, and availability zone. Where is your main instance to be created? Okay, which you can just select maybe to A, and database port by default 3306 when you select it with the MariaDB, which is a MySQL database port as well. That's all. And if you select all these things, just create the data store. And that's all. It will take some time to be created. MariaDB. So instance you see here, the instance is MariaDB. Okay. Okay. So while it will take some time now. For Sanjit, you asked the VPC creation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for you specifically, I'm going back. Though in this reason I'm not going to create. While this is creating, I'm going to another region so that you can follow. Okay. I'm in Ohio. I'll go to Virginia to create another VPC just for your interest. Okay. So.
Sure.
I'll create it. VPC, select services, go to networking, select the VPC, okay? Or the subcut here, VPC, your VPC, and there will be a default VPC. Here I have a default VPC in North Virginia region, okay? Now create a VPC here, and you can give the CIDR 10.0. 0.0/16. That's the max you can create.
That's the name, I think. That's the.
Okay, here is the CIDR. You can give the name, maybe this is VPC. Okay. I give some name and default as default and create. What happened? Why it is going? Yes, VPC 1.10.0/16. Okay. Created. Close. This is created. Next, you can create your subnets, route tables, and whatever you want. In fact, security groups, so on and so forth. You can create a subnet. These are by default, the subnets already exist with the existing VPC, which is the default VPC. You see? And if you, the route tables. Route table, there is a main route table, this one. You see the subnet associated with it. I believe this is the main one. You see all the VPC subnets are associated with this. So you will, how many VPCs you see in your route tables you will still see only one if you have not created, right?
The default one I don't see. When I go to your VPC, as you said that I should see some default, right? But I don't see any default one.
You don't see any VPC?
No, when I go to my VPC, And when I try to create also a new one, it says that I'm not authorized to create, even though I logged in as IAM user.
IAM user, okay, then obviously then you are not authorized. While creating the IAM user, you have not assigned the permission. So, okay, so you have to give the permission to network admin or the, in fact, you need the IAM policy for creation of the complete infrastructure to be able to create. So maybe you can try using the root, you'll be able to do it. Okay.
Okay.
So, but I'll tell you then what are the permissions needed to create a user to create the VPC. Okay, this is a good thing. I'll note it down that how to create a user with the required permission so that he can create the VPC. Okay.
Sure. Maybe, yeah, we can, I mean, in the interest of time today, we can proceed. Maybe we can offline connect to.
No, I'll take it maybe next year. It's a good thing you asked. So I'll go back to create a user. Did anybody else face this issue of not able to create the VPC as a user, IAM user?
No, Panchleshwar.
So, okay, then thus you could assign yourself the required policies. So, okay, but you try Sanjeet with maybe root user, you can do it. Okay. For
okay, sure.
Sorry, Panchleshwar, do we have any limitations like number of VPC for the free account or something?
Number of VPCs, I believe you can create 5 VPCs in one account.
And RDS database?
RDS database, I don't see any, maybe you can see the document, maybe.
Okay.
They keep updating, you know, the policies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
no problem.
We can see how many databases we can create.
PostgreSQL is also a free tier, right? That also we can use to create a database also, right? I mean, the MariaDB that we have used, we can also have the.
Yeah, you see that different options. Obviously, you can do and try. A lot of options are there. So, okay, all the whatever comes in the free tier, definitely you once you suppose let's see.
Mm-hmm.
See if you select the Postgres, if it is okay, there is no free tier. Postgres. Oh yeah, it came free tier. You can do it. Okay. Oracle. Let's see if there is a free tier. I don't see any free tier.
Oracle may not have. Yeah.
Because it's a heavier database.
Right.
And yeah, MySQL, MS SQL.
SQL has.
Free tier, have it. And yep, so Aurora has it in these 3. So only Oracle, except Oracle, you have all the others for the free tier. Okay, so now we see that it is created actually. Okay, for me, if you see DB instances, okay, out of 40, here you see here, we have something, dashboard, DB instances 1 out of 40. That means 40 may be the limit.
Yeah, they give 40 databases. Okay.
Okay, the quota, user /quota. So that means 1 out of 40. I'll check it and come back to you maybe if it is 40 is the limit. Okay, so this is what we got created, MariaDB. You see that, and when you click it, you see there is an endpoint and the port number and where the subnet, switch subnets, groups is creating and availability zone where it is, and so on and so forth, right? So now how to use it? We saw that we didn't do anything, like we didn't create instance, we didn't any package, directly we created a database with a endpoint, which is the database URL and a port number. This is what we need. And the admin is the admin user and password, whatever we gave. So with that, we can actually log in. Now, how to log in? Because I have disabled the public, like it is not publicly accessible, right? So it is only privately accessible inside the cloud. So obviously you have to create an instance to access it. Okay. So running instance, you have to create a running instance. From there only it will be accessible. Okay, so launch an instance, Amazon T2 micro, and create from the public. This is not private, so public. Maybe this is not DB, so I have a BOC public subnet where I can access. And this is what why I'm doing is I'm going to install actually a web server here in this instance so that the web server can access the database. Okay. And security group. So what I have done is I have created a DMZ security group, POC DMZ web. You see in that security group, what I have given access is HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH. All the three I have added. This is not a big deal. You can do it. And
Hey, Pankaj, I have a question.
yep.
The database which we installed, right, or the RDS.
Yeah, can you focus it here, please? I'm just now creating. So if you have anything else regarding this, can you please focus on what?
Yeah.
Currently. When I'll come back to database, maybe please ask that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to divert. Okay. So this is the instance I'm creating. So now the view instance, this is a public instance I'm creating, which is publicly accessible, right? So now this has got a public IP. Now I believe we all can do that. We can all log in, right? So I have my access key here. Now SSH -I and EC2 user @ IP address. Yes, I logged in, right? So this is I logged into my publicly available instance. Now, suppose I install a web server here in this instance. How should first I should get communicating to? I should be able to get connected to the database. Can I? Let's see that, how to communicate to the database from here. Now go ahead, please. What is the question?
Sorry, Pankaj, might be I was having a basic questions. The database RDS, RDS which we installed, right? Is that not like underlining provisioning a instance where we install the database?
Yes, it is actually in the backend. It is instantiating a database, but that instance is not accessible by you.
Okay.
User cannot access it. Okay. Because it's managed by AWS. But it is actually creating an instance in the subnet group which you provided. That means it will take an IP address of your subnet. Okay. But you cannot access it.
And can we see that at least the instance IP or something in the RDS?
That's
Nothing.
You cannot get the IP address, but you can see the endpoint, the DNS name actually. It is a
the ARN, right? The ARN I think can see.
Yes, the URL of that database.
Yeah, right.
This is what is the endpoint. Without that, how can you access it? Right?
Got it.
This is the endpoint, and this is the port number. So this only you can access. Let's see. Can I ping? Because okay. I have assigned, if you see here, I have given a subnet group and also a security group, which is BOC DB security group, which I created, right? And if you see here, what is the security group? I have allowed 3306.
You already have it, okay.
So, and also 22 port number, and just added for, this is not necessary actually, 80 and 443, but just for the web server to be, so I just added. These were not necessary actually. This is mainly, I want this one, 3306, because this is the port number which
database is running. Yep.
Okay. And remember one thing, this is 20, but my security group, I think this will not work. Why? I created it from my previous implementation.
Yeah, I think you are given 3 or 4, I think.
Right, because my instance group, if you see here, let me create a new security group and or I can edit the security group. If you see my RDS security group, let me go back and the security subnet group. Which are the subnet I have added to it? 2C, 2B, 2A. And these are the subnet IDs, which is 3, 4, and 5. Actually, I have given into A, which the CIDR is 3.0, right? So I should have a security group created. Let me see. I have created a security group. This one. This name is DB. For the DB purpose, I have created this, and I have added, given the source is 2.0. Actually, I have to edit it. And this is, I should be 10.0.3.0/24. This is, I should have. Because I have to allow from this subnet. Okay. Okay. Source is, we actually, I'm sorry. I was right. Because the source is not itself, right? The
source is your web server subnet.
Web server, so that previous one was right. So the instance which I just created, if you see, it is the internal IP address is 2.0.
Oh, that was correct then.
Right?
Yeah.
So the previous one was actually correct. So security group, this is the security group, and edit. I have to actually gain this.
Yeah. Okay. Now
that's fine.
And this is 2.0 only. Because otherwise it will be communicating just to itself. Okay, save that. So now you see here that this security group allows from the source anything from this subnet group 2.0, it will be with 3306 will be allowed. Okay, now go to the EC2 instance, and I'm anyway here. I have already logged in, right? And ping will not work because ICMP I have not allowed it. Should I allow it? Let me check. Just for if you want to allow any port, how to do that quickly? I want to do a ping just to show you. Ping will work? No, I don't think ping will work now. Why? Because I'm not allowed the ping port. Ping has a specific port. So let me copy this.
How about telnet? Telnet also will not work, right?
Normally telnet, we don't use it in modern world today because telnet is not safe. So ping, if I give this, it won't go. Why? Because ICMP protocol has to be enabled. Okay. So if I go to the security group, I allow the ICMP, it will be done. So here I add another rule, and ICMP this one, and I allow from 10.0.2.0/24. I'm sorry, 10.0/2. And save.
No, it was wrongly mentioned as 100.0.
Oh yeah, I don't know. This is okay. You see, this is giving the IP address. Now we got the IP address of this because it is actually the NAT gives the resource as this IP. ping gives, but why it is still not pinging? But because maybe the internal firewall of the RDB instance itself is not allowing, because we are just allowing the outside, but inside the OS maybe there is a firewall which is not allowed. Okay, and we cannot do anything. Okay, we cannot SSH, we cannot ping, anything we cannot do. This is also a good demo that why we cannot do anything with the instance. Okay, only we can communicate with the client, that is SQL client. We have to install that. Okay, first, to able to communicate, we have to have SQL to be installed here in this. So sudo em update -y. So update the packages first. Then I have already given a set of commands to be used for what is, yep, this one. I have just given a set of commands to be used for installing the SQL client. Okay, so first of all, create the MariaDB package repo. Just
And make sure can you ping us that thing also, so that we can also copy the same thing.
then the key, insert the key. Then you can just sudo em update and so on.
I think update package name is missing, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I think we hear some mistake. Infield.
GPG key retrieval fail.
Found. Should be. Should be there. Why it is URL didn't respond. Okay.
We have connection open to internet.
Yeah, it is open. 1 minute. Did it change? You can go to MariaDB site actually, find the latest package repository. Directly maybe copied. My database may be old. So what I'll do is why? So this is center 7, right? Yeah, should work. I don't know why. Let me clean all. Import it failed. It's not finding. I don't know. Like so. Sudo. Now it worked. Imported. Okay. Now let's install. This is the MariaDB client. So we don't need the server, but we need the client only. So sudo yum install MariaDB client. Okay, so client is installed. In my web server instance, actually, I'm planning to make it as web server. So this is now client is installed. See, remember I executed this command, right? So I only install the client. Okay, and now MySQL is the client now, and -h will give me the instance IP. I can communicate with the one which is the RDS endpoint. This is the endpoint. Copy, and this is -h is the endpoint. -p, capital P is the port 3306, right? 3306 is the port, and -u is admin username, and -p is the password it will ask. So now it will ask the password and give the password which you asked. You provided earlier. Denied. -s, this is 3306 -u admin -p.
Maybe admin has a uppercase or like?
No, should be. So admin, we saw that admin was the small uppercase. So this is what minus H P D, right? D minus P should work. Denied for the user admin. Okay. Sometimes it's working, sometimes because of the networking, some maybe it connected now. Previously it was not connecting, now it connected. Okay. So I think from my home internet is not that much reliable. Okay. So, but still I'm in cloud. I'm on cloud instance. So I don't know. Maybe I provided the password maybe wrong. Okay.
Yeah, password could be wrong. Yeah.
So now you see what is the command I gave? MySQL or MySQL minus H. You have to give the endpoint. H is for host actually. Okay. Minus H, which is the host for the database, and this is the endpoint, and minus capital P is the port number, minus U is the username and admin, and minus P is the password. See, the capital P is port and minus P is the password. You are giving that, okay, ask me the password. Either you can provide here minus P and the password directly, which is actually a security risk if you provide. Further, your knowledge, actually, I provided my password as ABCD12334. Just to give you, this is my password actually. Still is asking, okay. Okay. So it does not take this, okay?
Maybe it doesn't like it that way.
Okay, so this is the way you can communicate to your database. Now you can create database or something, right? Now you are, if you are a SQL admin, you should not have an issue, right? Like create, what is the right way to create a database? Now, anybody can answer, please? MySQL create DB, and previously you actually so no database selected. Use default. No default database. Nothing is created. So you have to create a database. How to create a database? I forgot it.
You just create database name. And so databases will list the databases.
Yeah, today there is a database admin in our team. So please help me.
It's just simple, create database name will create it.
Create database.
Then name.
Create database. Why didn't it? Manual? Check the manual. Okay, let me.
You didn't put this colon at the end,
right?
No, I think the name.
I think that the colon is missing most likely. Yeah.
The name is not allowing, I think, hyphen.
Okay. So use.
So databases will list all the databases there.
Yeah, I'm a user. I'm a database user, but I am not a database admin myself. Okay, so this is the way we can create and log into the database which is created by RDS instance. Okay, now 8:47 now, 8:50 almost. So here we'll stop today, and the next time what we'll do is we'll create a which one we said the WordPress application installation. So what we'll do is we'll create actually here a data. I'll exit now. So here we'll install the web server here, and from the web server we'll install the WordPress packages, and from the WordPress we'll log into the database and create our WordPress data, and then we'll configure the WordPress, and we can access it from public. So that will be done in the next session, next Sunday. Okay.
Next class is Sunday or Wednesday?
Sunday. So the cloud classes are Sunday to Sunday, and Wednesday is the DevOps.
DevOps. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do that next Sunday. We'll install the WordPress document. Okay. WordPress application. Okay. In our web server and database server, communicating both.
Panchala sir, Dilip here. Are you going to keep open this database installed till Sunday, or it will not cost, right?
I'm going to delete all my instances, by the way. So once because this is public, it is showing public, so I'll not keep it open.
If you keep open till Sunday, it will cost next Sunday?
No, whether it costs or not, I don't want to keep open my...
No, I'm talking about if we will create it today. We already created, right? And we want to keep it open.
If somebody will inject data into it and will retrieve data, it is going to cost.
Yeah, so as long as you are in the free tier, it won't cost you.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it is just we saw that it is using T2 micro. So you are allowed to use 3. That's why, you can have 3 instances of T2 micro for free. Okay. So anything else, guys? For today, it is, I think, enough.
I think today it was a good session.
This is of course Pankaj. So what about code? What about script which you used, right, in the presentations? Are you sharing across?
I didn't use any script, actually. Honestly, I didn't use any script because I intend to make it public.
Okay.
But I didn't use any script, simple commands. These are all actually installing. Any Linux admin can do it.
Okay. Now, for me to refer, is this presentation should be stored in a repo or something, or in Gmail or something, which I can access later and follow.
I am actually, because this is not very clearly I have made it.
Okay.
I intend to publish this after sometimes. I'll clean some of the things, then I'll put in my GitHub repository so that you all can download it. I intend to do that, but I don't know, in this week, possibly I intend to clean it properly and upload it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So we'll stop here today, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Pankaj sir, just a question.
Go ahead.
So for the GitHub account, right? We shared it. So were you able to upload the code that you were planning to?
No, I have not done anything because our class is on Wednesday. So possibly
you will be doing in the class. That means.
Sorry.
we'll be doing it on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday I'll see that. Like, so I'll update you on Monday. I have, I think before that I'll update the board.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
Good night.
Thank you.